some things about me. Okay, I am Rohit. I am not teaching you, but I'm actually helping you and learn German. Let's just for the sake of understanding, I am teaching you German. I am helping you. I am teaching German again, but there's a difference, right? So I am teaching German, and here I am providing more information. I am teaching you German, and then here I say I am reading the book Atomic. Actually, I'm reading something else now, but let's say I am reading the book Atomic Habits. Okay, now let's try to dissect this statement. Okay, again, guys, if you focus here, you don't have to worry about nominative, accusative, dative later in the future in A1, B1, in A to B2. So what exactly? Let's look at I am Rohit. Okay, so if I have to, let's say if I call you, okay, if I call you and I say blah blah. Let's say if I call you and I say I am Rohit, but that I you could not hear. Okay, it's like drr, am Rohit. Normally your question will be who is Rohit? I am Rohit. You know, and if I say I am, and just when I said Rohit, there was some noise, and it was like I am dr or like I am blah blah. Your question will be who are you? Okay, so how do you find the missing information, right? If I say I am dash, you will say who is dash, right? And if I say dash am Rohit, you will say who is Rohit, right? So whenever you can replace the noun with the who kind of question, it is nominative. Okay, whenever you can replace the noun with a who kind of question, it is nominative. Let's look at this one, guys. So I am reading the book Atomic Habits. Okay, again, if I say dash am reading the book Atomic Habits, okay, I mean it's obvious that when I say am, the subject has to be. But if I instead of I say he is reading the book Atomic Habits, and I say dash is reading the book Atomic Habits, your question will be who is reading the book Atomic Habits, right? That means again is this information can be found with the help of a who kind of question, and it is nominative. So whenever it is who, it is nominative. Then this reading, like what am I doing, that action. Okay, and then let's say if I say I am reading blah blah. Okay, then your question will be what are you reading. What are you reading? So that the book Atomic Habits, that noun, if you want to find this missing information, you have to ask what kind of question, right? What blah blah. What is blah 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 blah. That's why it is accusative. Followed who, nominative, what, accusative. Followed so far. Let's look at over here one more example. Blah blah is teaching German. Your question will be who is blah blah, right? So again, who, that's why nominative. Again, am teaching is, what is blah blah doing, what am I doing? Then now German, again, you may think, okay, German is noun. Yes, German is a noun. I don't know. I think it is. I mean, you say German and it's a noun actually. I don't know. I think, okay. So German, again, if I say I am teaching blah blah, you will ask, what are you teaching? What am I teaching? Again, this information can be found with the help of a what kind of question. So it is accusative. Let's look at this one. I am teaching German. I am teaching you German. Okay. If I say I am teaching German, your question will be, whom are you teaching, right? I mean, I cannot just talk to a wall, right? There has to be audience, right? So if you want to find this information, you will say, whom are you teaching German? Or if I have to find this information to myself, I will say, whom am I teaching German? And whenever the missing information can be found with the help of whom kind of question, it is dative. Let's look at this one. I am helping you. If I say I am helping, your question will be, and if I say dash is helping you, you will ask who is helping you. Of course, then it is nominative. And if I say I am helping dash, I am helping blah blah, then you will say, whom are you helping or whom am I helping? Again, that's why it is dative. Is it followed? What am I saying? Okay. Again, even this concept is not bulletproof. Okay, even this is not bulletproof. We'll just check in 1 second, because sometimes you will say, for whom are you doing this, and when you want to say for whom, it will be accusative. uh, just but normally you can use this concept. Again, so here are the sentences in German. I just want someone to read this, please. Can you read?
Ich bin Rohit.
Yeah, this.
Ich lese das Buch Atomic Habits.
Yeah,
Ich unterrichte Deutsch.
yeah,
Ich helfe dir. Ich unterrichte dir Deutsch.
Okay, ich unterrichte ja Deutsch. Again, the same questions, you can, for example, to say, who are you? I mean, I know it's a famous question, who am I? So how to say, wer bin ich? Okay, so if you want to think it, if I have to say it in German, immer wenn du fragen kannst, wenn du die fehlende Information finden kannst mit der Frage wer, dann ist das Nominativ. Wenn die Frage, again, hier, also hier auch, die Frage ist wer, also wer ist Rohit. Aber hier, wenn ihr aufpasst, also hier ist, was liest Rohit? Okay, die Frage ist was und nicht mehr wer. Deswegen ist das hier ein Akkusativ. Passt hier auf, okay? Blabla unterrichtet Deutsch. Dann die Frage ist, wer unterrichtet Deutsch? Also wer, das deswegen Nominativ. Hier, ich unterrichte Blabla, also was unterrichte ich? Nochmals, die Frage ist was, deswegen Akkusativ. I hope you could follow this right. Again, as I said, this is a very good concept, but even this is not bulletproof. So, what is bulletproof? So when you use a verb, there is a subject, there is an object. Okay. Now, subject is always nominative, almost always nominative. Remember this. Subject almost. I'm using almost because I'm not sure. There will be some verbs which require the subject to be now. That's why I'm saying almost, but you can just say always. Okay, always nominative. Object. Okay, object is nominative for two verbs. There can be other verbs as well, but for two verbs, sein and werden. You don't know werden. You will learn this later, I think, in A2. But just remember sein. Okay, so object is nominative for two verbs. Then you have object. So then we have like dative, so we covered that object will be nominative for these two verbs, sein and werden. Then otherwise it can be dative, it can be genitive, it can be accusative, right? Are there verbs which require the verb to object to be in genitive? Yes. Do you need them in daily life? No. You will don't need these verbs. Okay. So genitive is out of question. We'll remove genitive. Then we are left with dative and accusative. Okay. Now, if you and I, if you buy me coffee and cheesecake and we meet for 7 days in a cozy restaurant and you keep buying me coffee and cheesecake, and what do we do is, we start making a list. Okay, I make a list of verbs that require the object to be in accusative case, and I make a list of verbs that require the object to be in dative case. Okay, and you also make a list. What will happen is that you will realize that, wait, let me create one more. So we both make a list. So one for accusative, one for dative. This list may go on, this list, I think this will go till, I don't know, depending on how strong the coffee is and how good the cheesecake is, this list may go on to 2000. Okay, we are meeting for 7 days. Dative, this will end after maximum 100 verbs. So, what is the trick? You learn these dative verbs, and whenever you have one of the, you are somebody is using a verb, okay, and you want to use that verb again, you just check. You make this mental check. Is this verb in this list? No. Then by default, check whether is this verb sein werden. No. Then it has to be accusative. Could you follow, guys, what I just said? Any questions? Otherwise, this is all I have to say about
Could you
it.
please repeat if you don't mind?
No, okay, no problem. So subject, verb,
Just the last part.
last part, right? So I
Yeah.
said object can be nominative, accusative, dative, or genitive, right? It will be nominative for these two verbs, sein and werden. Now, dative,
Two
accusative,
more
genitive.
verbs. Two more verbs for
Of
nominative.
course, give me those,
Uh,
please.
bleiben and heißen.
But bleiben does not have an object, right?
I
Okay,
checked one
heißen,
translation
yes.
just now.
And bleiben, give me an example, please.
Uh, I stay one reader. I stay a reader. Ich bleibe ein Leser. What was that?
I'm not sure.
Leser.
Hyson, I agree with you 100%. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I mean, Hyson is like normally obvious. Bleiben, I'm not sure. Just check. Okay, I'm not sure about Bleiben.
Okay, we may check that.
Yeah. Then just coming back to her question. Thank you for the input. Thank you very much. Hyson
Yeah,
is also there. Now I know.
yeah,
Dative,
yeah.
accusative, genitive, right? So I tell genitive, you need to know genitive, but you don't need to be aware of the verbs which require the object to be in genitive case. Dative, accusative, as I said, if we sit down and make a list of verbs that you and I, or we all need for daily life, the list of dative verbs, again, there is nothing called as dative. It just means that the object will be in dative case. That list will not have more than 100 verbs for daily life. Accusative, the list may go on. Okay, I just stopped at 2000 because an hour has 60 minutes, and if you say one sentence, then you can, if you have 2000 verbs, you can speak for 8 hours, and you don't speak for more than 8 hours in a day, right? That's why I'm saying 2000 is enough. So whenever someone uses a verb in front of you, you hear it. You watch a movie and you hear someone using that verb, and you also want to use that verb. Now the question is whether the object with that verb is accusative or dative. Make this mental check. Is that verb part of that list? If the answer is yes, then the object will be dative. If the answer is no, then by default it is accusative. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, Rohit.
Okay. Again, like, of course, sometimes, like, not sometimes, many times the sentence will have two objects. Okay. Sentence will have two objects. Then we have to check what is the direct object of the sentence, and then the direct object will be accusative and the indirect will be dative. Example of direct indirect object, let me use that example of my daily life. I am teaching, right? So what is the direct object? German, right? So if I say I am teaching, normally you will ask, what are you teaching? That is the direct object, and you is the indirect object. Okay. But that logic does not apply over here, because when you use the verb helfen comes in that list of dative verbs. Okay. This gets more clear. Again, this is just the fourth session, guys. We'll talk more about it. Okay. But I hope I could help you with this. This where was that? This list thing. Okay. Any questions, guys? Please ask. Otherwise, yeah, the meeting will end in like 10 seconds. Thank you very much for joining. Please subscribe the newsletter if you can. I will share the slides on via newsletter on Sunday. Thank you very much for joining. Have a nice weekend, guys.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome. The call will end
Thank you.
anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.